Summer's just started and now it's ended for Dammy.
Casa relationships seem to have come and gone, but it is what it is until it isn't.
Jay and China leave, or has one of them returned?
The ultimate head-turning former Islander makes a comeback and turns a new page. I'm Megan Rose.
And I'm Matt Clewes, and this is Off the Island. Yes.
I know we say it every time, Matt, but what a week.
What a week it has been, Meshka. And I'll tell you what, we have been treated once again. Honestly, this just when you think everything's kind of not bobbing along, but you know, things are kind of happening, moving forward. Still can't quite see a clear winner yet. But then, boom, big things happened, and obviously, last few days, an old Islander's come back. But obviously, we'll talk about that.
Yeah, we will. We will definitely be talking about that.
Shall we head straight into our top three moments?
Yeah. Okay.
Go for it.
So, top three moments this week are number one, back from Casa. Number two,
Couples back together.
number three, drum roll. 1, 2, 3.
Adam! Well, I said I'm so excited, but I'm not too sure if I'm a fan of him. But let's start with back from Casa and what a recoupling it was. Apparently, I did see that it took quite a long time to film that recoupling.
I mean, I'm not surprised. It was the best recoupling there has ever been on the show.
Yeah, it was just the fact that there was so many new couples. It was hard to keep track of, to be honest. But by the way, can I just say, Whitmore, we love you. We're a fan. But by the way, where have you been for the last 4 weeks? Like, you've not been in the villa, and then you come back and you do this to us. But thank you. That's all I can say. And with the new hair, there's new hair as well.
I know. And we did get a nice B-roll of the hair, didn't we?
I can't do it. Cute air fans.
I wish that a fan would do that to me, but you know, okay, that could have been misinterpreted in a really wrong way. I meant a fan that is electric that plugs in, not an actual fan. Moving swiftly onwards.
Which you have lots of.
Yeah, only fans.
Which the Islanders have lots of. Which the Islanders
have
lots of, to be fair.
They do.
Yeah.
Right, okay, before we go down a very slippery slope, let's talk about back from Casa. I mean, whew. Okay.
It was hot. It was big. I just loved the smugness of Davide about how he just didn't care. The bitterness of Andrew and Tasha was just excellent.
Oh.
And just the absolute. I didn't think India would come back with someone new. I'm not going to lie to you. I didn't think she would, but I bet she's glad she did. Did you?
Yeah, I did. I mean, I don't think it could have worked out any better. Really, I don't. Because essentially, all the people that we wanted to stay in there still stayed in there, and it just caused the best controversy out. But I have to be honest, I think Danny and India, there was instant jealousy between the two of them. I think that was more apparent. I would say more apparent than anybody else. Actually, no, because Andrew looked like he was about to implode. But with Danny and India, I just thought it was really, bad of her to make him feel so crap when she had somebody standing next to her. And I was like, okay, you can be annoyed at him, but you can't be like kissing your teeth and making out that he's the worst person when you've just recoupled as well.
It just looked like an absolute argument. Well, it was an argument star. Of course it was. I don't understand why. It just was just very odd. But it was the same with Tasha and Andrew as well, because obviously, we knew Andrew didn't want to recouple. He wanted to be with Tasha. We knew that. I haven't put it in the quotes of the week, but he said two of my favourite things from the whole week. One of which being shock horror as soon as Tasha walks back in with someone new, And then afterwards, when he says to Billy, "Good luck," she tells what lies on Pinocchio.
Oh, that was so bad.
So
He
bad.
was so angry.
It's it wasn't good. Wasn't good at all. But they were the two big kind of stories, weren't they, from the night?
Yeah, well, no, that was not the only two stories, was it?
Do tell.
Because we need to talk about Paige and Jax.
Yes. And what was funny with Jax is he obviously did the what was it? I've got it written down my notes. So Ekin Su obviously said like, "Oh, look where I'm sat now," as she sat next to Davide, and then it all came out about Cheyenne and the connection that she had with Jax, which by the way was very Millie and Liam from last year, but we'll
Oh,
gloss
yeah.
over that. And he said, "Oh, look where I'm sat now," and just nicks her line. And the thing is, what he said before, didn't he? I'm going to steal that. He knew exactly what was going to happen, and obviously, we now know what's happened with Jax. But he has had an absolute ride in there, and I think it's probably for the best.
Do we think he chose to leave, or do you think he was asked to leave?
Mix of both, maybe.
Yeah, I feel the latter, because I feel like he's probably too stubborn to actually want to leave. But I think it's going to be really awful for Paige, and I do feel quite sorry for her because she genuinely really likes the guy.
Yeah, it's one of those where it might be a bit of a it's going to be a long time, not a long time, but it might take her a while to kind of get over what's kind of happened. It's quite traumatic, really, and especially when you're in such a confined space for so long. Like obviously, the amount of times they say, they've been in there for 2 days, but it feels like 2 weeks or whatever.
Yeah.
With that personal time, you're literally on top of them like the whole time.
And then they've
So
just got over this big hurdle, and she's only just forgiven him for his behavior at Casa. And I think with Jax, I think he's very, very good at playing the victim and smooth talking his way out of things, or eventually coming off of his high horse and trying to do all the things that Dami suggests he does, such as pretending that they're in a rom-com when they're both full of shit. But clearly it's working for Dami because he's much more articulate when it comes to doing it. Jax seems to react and then retreat and then do all the right things. And I just feel, I feel Paige has been really strung along. But I think when Adam comes in, and as he has done, and we will talk about this more later, but one of the things that he said was about how, you know what, I'm just going to be quiet for a sec because we're going to move on to this. So, you know what, let's hold that thought. But what I'm trying to get at is I think when she gets out the villa, she will look back and she will be grateful that he actually left, because she'll see him for who he really is, and she deserves better.
yeah, I mean, obviously, you wrote that big paragraph of stuff, which we saw earlier on this week, but yeah, it's one of those that's kind of like, okay, it's done. It didn't need to get escalate as much as it did, but it's done. Move on, kind of thing. Well, shall we move on to the couples getting back together, which you kind of already mentioned? By the way, I feel like whilst it was a good recoupling, it's also been the most pointless Casa Amor potentially of all time, because they've not really done much in terms of the people that the islanders that have come in and were recoupled with, blah blah blah. They've not done anything.
No, they've all just been cast aside now, haven't they? I mean, really, you're right, it has been pointless, and I feel like they brought it in too early for a start. We said this anyway, didn't we? It seemed to be over really quick as well. So I almost feel like maybe they knew that these characters weren't big enough to last the long haul of the show. So let's just get them in quick, get them out quick, stir up a bit of shit, and then everyone gets back together anyway, because that is exactly what's happened.
Literally, like, they had a nice time. It was like 4 days. That's just,
if that, I think it was like 3 nights, 2 nights, 3 nights, like
not long enough. I swear it's usually at least 5 days. It's a good old like kind of week, isn't it?
Yeah,
really, that they're in there, because there was no postcard.
No, there wasn't a postcard.
And by the way, both sets of Islanders, boys and girls, were both like grafting in some way, shape, or form, apart from Luca, which he will tell you to the end.
Oh
Um,
yeah,
Gemma shared a bed. Everyone did, you know what I mean? Like, we all know what Andrew did with
yeah.
his
We all know
tongue,
what Andrew did. Blimey.
or whatever, as he says. He just loves it. Loves getting his tongue out. Anyway, so
Honestly.
um I feel like that's not been mentioned that much, but seriously, he does do this a lot. Anyway, let's move on to the couples about to get. Let's start with them then. Andrew and Tasha. Are they going to be in for the long haul now? Do you think? Is it just a matter of time? He's obviously revealed his love for her. Poor Coco is probably out making Coco because what else is she going to do now? She's been sacked off so quickly. Um,
I mean,
yeah.
I feel really sorry for her. She was
Mm.
definitely used for this tool of revenge from Andrew's perspective. I feel like they will last, but Tasha still isn't completely for him. And again, we will talk about that a little bit later. So she might make out that she is, but he's starting to irritate me a little bit. I'm not going to lie. I just feel like I want the guy to grow a backbone, and I don't know how he's not slopping on the floor because it clearly isn't in his body.
I think I said, I don't know if I said this from the start, but I am getting Curtis Pritchard vibes um, from Andrew now, and it's just
Yeah.
a bit like, is slimy the right word to use? I don't know if it is, but do you get what I
I
mean? Like,
I don't feel like he's slimy. I feel like he's more genuine than Curtis,
yeah,
somewhat. But I just feel like we all, so me and my housemates watched the episode last night, and one of us said wet flannel, the other one said wet cloth, and the other one said wet towel.
wet,
So
wet,
that's
wet.
how wet. There must be a song we can put in there and definitely get away with it.
Ooh, might have to pay for it. But yeah, like, yeah, he is just a bit of a melt, to be honest, and a big melt. Like he's like tuna melt, and I like a tuna melt. But
Me too.
I think he's yeah. I can't see him lasting very long, and I think people are just bored of Tasha and Andrew. To be totally honest with you, at this point, um,
It is boring. It's so boring. And this whole Billy Bill's brought out a different side of her. What side? Because I'd like to see it.
I'm fed up of hearing her. Oh, he brings out the sassy side of Tasha. I was like, what is this side? Like you're literally making it up, Tasha.
I know. I know.
I do
So
go on. So what I was going to say is I do feel like at this point that I don't know how they do it. Well, obviously we know how they do it, but the original people, the original islanders, do get a lot of protection
they do.
from
100%.
votes, from things like Casa, just generally from Texas. They do get a lot of protection. So which is a compliment to them, obviously, but I just feel like it can get a bit boring, and it kind of leaves no hope for New Islanders as well.
And I think as well, one thing that I really picked up on is when Laura Whitmore came in and she had everyone around the fire, she said, so if you're recoupling and your partner comes back on their own, they are now single. They will remain in the villa, but they are now single. But then at the end of it, when it was all of the newbies, it was your time in Love Island is up.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, well, that doesn't marry up because all of them could have coupled with each other. Could they not?
Yeah. No, yeah, I
But
guess
no.
so.
So yeah, it's definitely, there's a little, like you say, there's a little bit of protection, a little bit of a fix, perhaps. Yeah.
Give a shout out to good old Jack Keating, because his life is a roller coaster.
What a great line from Ekin-Su. That was brilliant. Okay, so Tasha and Billy are no more. Tasha and Andrew are once again an item. We'll see how long that lasts. Jay in China, out the door.
Later.
He he just wasn't really committing to anyone. So I feel like there's no love lost there. He's a nice
No.
guy. He'll have loads of attention on the outside, and maybe he'll be able to scale it down to one. Davide and Ekin-Su.
Oh my god, he's so funny. Well, it's when he came back and he says about the fact that he had a good time in Casa Amor, and I'm thinking you weren't there, Davide.
I
But I'm glad you had a good time, nevertheless. He did have a good time, as we know. And it was just when she found out that he he had kissed someone. He kissed two of them, didn't he? And but she didn't mention what she was doing in the bed the night before.
Oh, I'm so excited for when the footage comes out. Because that reaction, I can't speak. I can't speak. I'm having a heart attack. I was like, this is amazing. Like, I just can't help but love her because she's such an actress. But meanwhile, she's getting fingered. So there we go.
Oh god. Is that what happened? I don't know.
I mean, I cannot claim I was not there, but it did seem like that was what they essentially were saying kind of happened. I think when Han's going that region,
Yeah,
it's probably not going to be on top of cloth, is it?
and he had a manicure.
There we go. See, yeah, I think they both did.
It's ridiculous.
So I'm looking forward to that. We will that will definitely come out. It has to.
Yes. Oh, it's got to. Please bring back the movie night. It's got to happen at some point. But we've got Dami and India as well. Obviously, are going to be getting back together. Summer started for Dami, and obviously is now ended for Dami with Summer, but also Summer has now ended for Summer. Which is awkward.
Poor Summer. Yeah.
Poor Summer. I mean, like I said again, she never really had a chance. It's just the amount of crap that came out of all their mouths this year at Casa Amor. It's just unbelievable.
Do you know what? I am slightly happy though, because do you remember a few episodes ago when we were talking about how loyal the guys were?
Yes.
It was like, girls, what are you doing? And now it all come out in the wash later on. So there we go. They're all as bad as each other.
Oh, of course they are. Of course they are. Who else? What other couples have we got then?
So we no longer have Danica and Josh. They are now friendship. I feel sorry for Danica. I feel like I want her to meet someone because she's pretty chill. I like her. Gemma and Luca are basically set to have kids. And okay, Paige and Jax, we've spoken a little bit about, but what a story that's been. So I found her chat with Dami quite interesting about the whole Jax situation. Now, a few people I know have been like, I didn't like the way that Dami was speaking, blah, blah, blah. But actually, I think what he was saying was kind of apt in the sense of he was experimenting. He was being a lad. However, the way he has gone about things, the way he has spoken to people, the way that he's spoken to her, and she said something very, very poignant. And she said, you only put yourself through a test if you feel like something's missing. And that is so true. And I think that has really shown who the true couples are this time. I think there's been a lot of absence has made the heart grow fonder. I think it's definitely brought Gemma and Luca closer. I think she's really like let her guard down a bit now. Yeah. But Paige is absolutely right in what she was saying. And I think from here on out, if there are any more tests, I think that's going to be the end of these couples.
What I love as well is how Gemma just stayed out of the situation. Like, she must be so smug in this situation right now, but she's been mature. She's, watched everything happen from the back seat and said it happen, which is obviously great from her point of view and also from everyone else's, really. So they don't want a big argument today. But
no.
There's a few things about Jax that have obviously come out in the news. There's a big post come out on his social media over the last few days as well regarding the fact he's got ADHD and things like that, and things to do with
has he?
Yeah, things to do with his like temper and things like that, and the way he deals with certain situations. So obviously we don't know what Paige knows and what anyone else knows.
No, but I will say that in his defense, then it's like an itch you can't scratch, and short temper is a massive trait of having ADHD. Someone in my family very close to me has got really severe ADHD, and actually I can kind of see him in a different light now, but they've got a really genuine heart. It's like this really hard exterior, and underneath it is a very sensitive guy. So now when we've seen him getting upset, I actually really do believe that was genuine and not put on. But I think maybe he needs to come away from this and watch himself back and realise that he was not okay. And you can't treat someone like that, and especially you don't treat someone like that on national TV, because the comeuppance is never going to be good, you know?
Exactly. I think, yeah, he'll come back and look at that. You know, who knows? There might be a conversation between him and Paige on the outside. Who knows?
Yeah.
But this is what's happened. Obviously, we'll see what happens in the coming days as well in reaction to it. I'm sure we'll hear more from the producers and stuff like that about it as well. But we continue.
We do.
But obviously, linking that now, one of the reasons why he has obviously left the villa is because one guy's made a big impact quite quickly, and it goes by the name of Adam Collard, who, by the way,
has somehow wormed his way back into the villa.
I can't work out if he's desperate, right, or just really loves the show. But but obviously, the first thing I tweeted when we saw he was coming back was, firstly, how have they kept this secret? Because usually you know about this kind of stuff like in the news in the 24 hours before. And I instantly thought, oh my God, Sam Thompson is going to be great TV right now. And I thought, okay, gave it half an hour, and within the half an hour he'd put a reel up on Instagram, and he'd filmed the end of the show. He's like, oh my God, and he's like, oh my God, it's your ex-boyfriend. He looked at Zara and she was like, he was absolutely loving it. And he was like, wait on a second, why are you loving it? It was so funny. But he was on, he was 2018, I think. So he was on the series with Megan, Wes Nelson. He was Danny and Jack and Danny.
That was a big year. That's one of my, I have to say, I preferred that year to last year's.
Yes. Yeah, I think so. I think so as well.
I love Jack and Danny. I really did think they were going to be together for the rest of their lives, and it made me really sad that they didn't.
I know. But
yeah, and Megan and Wes has been super successful, hasn't he? Let's be honest.
Yeah, jealous. But but he obviously made a stir back then as well. I think he coupled up with someone. He then got with someone in Casa Amor. He then was with Zara, wasn't he? And then she left. He didn't follow. He then coupled up with someone else. He then left and came back, and now he's obviously left for 4 years and now gone back again.
He is literally like the Love Island boomerang.
He is the Love Island boomerang. And it could be, I'm intrigued to see how he goes about things this time. Obviously, he's not hanging about. Obviously, Paige was quite keen, but it'd be interesting to see, because obviously he's 26 now. Which means 22 back then. Good maths. Well done, Matt.
Well done.
It's just interesting to see a different approach. Obviously, now he's a bit older.
Yeah, I feel like he's lost a bit of his charisma.
Yeah,
maybe he looks older.
Oh God, yeah.
I mean, who are we to talk? But you know, but I don't know. Anyway, so Adam, I have to say, obviously, this caused up the massive stir between Paige and Jackson's relationship. So Gemma was instantly like, this is fucking brilliant, and found it really funny. And I was like, that's great, because she's obviously loving the fact that, I have the impression that he did not treat her well.
Jax, yeah. And
I don't want to make assumptions on what that could have been, but yeah, she knows him better than anyone in that place. And I think any time that Paige is wanting to speak to someone else, she's like, go for it. And there's part of me that's like, okay, that's because she knows him. The other side of me is like what you said, is there still a little something in there where she doesn't actually want someone else to have him, especially in front of her face? We don't know.
we're never going to know now, are we? I mean, it might come out after. Luca probably doesn't want anything to come out. Luca probably knows potentially what's happened at this point, but
Yeah.
yeah, and it's all kicking off obviously, and Adam has caused a stir, and a part of me was a bit worried actually because I thought, are they just going to fangirl him?
Yeah.
And that still might happen, and there might still be an element of that happening. But also, the guy's 26; he's the same age as me, and do you know what I mean? Just look at him; he spends far too much time in the gym.
Oh God, don't. Well, don't they all? Honestly, it's not normal.
Have they not got a life?
Ekin bloody Sue, like, mate.
I just can't deal with it. I just can't deal with it. Like,
She
why?
doesn't look like this with glasses on.
Why? Why are people built like that?
I know. Don't worry, Matt.
It's fine. I mean, look, I had a burrito for dinner tonight. I don't really mind. But
Well, that's good. I haven't eaten dinner yet, and I keep thinking about what I'm going to order from a certain brand that I don't know if I can say. So I'm
other food chains are available. Not that we're like completely loyal to any food chain because we have a massive sponsor, but if anyone is listening, we'd love you to sponsor us.
Absolutely. We would try the food live on our podcast and tell you what it's like during the midst.
Exactly. What that is up to you. And also, I don't like peppers really. What else? Mushrooms. Not keen on a mushroom. Just put it out there in case anyone wants to send us food.
Okay, and I can't eat gluten, but basically everything else is fine.
So we'll expect to collect our order very soon. Okay, but what are we wanting from Adam? I don't know what.
Do you know what? I don't know if I want any more crap in the villa right now.
Yeah.
I want a few things to be amicable, and at the moment, like, I feel like love has been stopped many times. And I know it's the whole point of it because they have to have the carrots dangled to know if they're really in love. But I don't want any more carrots dangled. I feel like Adam is going to give Paige the companionship she needs to get through the rest of the time in the villa. I think he knows that she's the best person to target.
Yeah.
And I don't think that he will stay in the villa very long because I think people are going to be like, nah, mate, I'm not voting for you. You've already had your chance.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think it will last very long, but I don't know why they've done this. I feel like they think ITV, that is, and I'm not, slagging anyone off here, but I just feel like they don't think the series has gone very well, just judging by the way
things have been going. Yeah.
So, but we're still doing this. We like it. It's been interesting. It's been different, but we like it. And I think we're only just over halfway. So let's keep it going.
Yeah, absolutely. We're having fun.
Exactly. Shall we go to our favourite singing voice of the podcasty thing that we do right now that you're listening to?
Yes, let's do it. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
All the things she said, running through my head, running through my head. All the things she said, running through my head, running through my head.
All the things she said. Right, let's hit us up. Hit me up with a quote, Meshka.
Okay, right, Matthias. So, Danica had her first kiss with Josh and was all butterfly-y. And she turns around and she said, I'm literally like a kid on Christmas. Not at, on.
On. She's on Christmas. I want to be on Christmas too.
Me too.
It's so humid, Meg. It's so humid. But yeah,
I know. I'm
Christmas.
sweating in places I didn't know I could sweat from.
I know, just so many different muscles that are just stood still. On Christmas.
What?
On Christmas, I don't know.
What did you just say?
I don't know. It's hot. It's hot. On
sweat. It's your glands. That is almost as bad as the bloody raisins again. I think we need to have all the things he said just for you, Matt.
I didn't know. I didn't know. Um, on Christmas, what? A Christmas tree?
Oh, sorry, just blew in my face.
What was it?
It was a weird fly.
Was it the Tooth Fairy?
I wish it was, but it wasn't. Okay, let's move on. I think I might have eaten
Move
it.
on. Do another one of yours. Do another one of yours. To distract
Okay.
yourself.
So, Andrew and Jax were having a conversation.
Yes.
And Andrew said to Jax, this is during Casa Amor time and New Girls in the Villa, whatever makes you happy, go for it. And he said, and girls make me happy. So. You wonder why you're not in the Villa anymore, just saying.
Oh, orcs. Clearly they don't make him happy because he was too indecisive as to what girl to go for. Maybe that's all part of the wishy-washy thing that's going on, but it's absolutely fine. Well done, Jax. Well done, Jax. You did say some interesting things, to be fair.
I did. Matthias, tell me
yes,
one.
Let's go to Deji and India. So they're talking about Tokyo, Meg. And he says that country's a whole new drift.
Oh my God, no, he didn't. It's so bad.
Quoting Fast and Furious, or as I call it, faff. But Tokyo, I can confirm, is not a country. It is a city in the country of, do you know, where is it?
Japan.
Japan. Thank you. Deji, you need to do some geography. I do know a geography teacher, genuinely. So if you do need any help, he's willing to be booked in. He's also very much like a child at times as well. Shout out to my mate, who I don't know if he listens to this actually, but in all seriousness, Deji, if you want a geography teacher, he's available.
I like that. I think you need to make this happen.
I think I might give it a go. Right, back to you.
Okay, so Gemma is speaking to Paige. So this is after I think it must have been Billy, actually.
Yes.
He was trying it on with Paige, right? And he was essentially saying that he feels like she's more into him than he's into her, that he's going to be looking at other women and probably not being loyal. And I mean, the guy was right, so we can't knock him for that. And then Paige got upset, and Gemma turned around to Paige and said, if he goes away for a few days and it's not enough for him to keep his fucking dick in his fucking pants, then he can fuck off anyway.
She loved the F word right then, didn't she, old Gemma?
I know, she's getting more and more confident as the weeks go on.
She is. I bet Michael's loving it.
I know. To be fair, I bet he is proud of his girl. I think she's actually done a good job.
Yeah, she's done well.
Yeah.
But she's right though. At the end of the day, control. Have some control, lads. Have some control.
Absolutely.
Keep your penis pulses to yourself.
And your tongue.
And your tongue. your twitchy tongue.
Twitchy tongue. PP, TT,
FF.
and FF. There we go. Right. Give us the last one, Matthew.
Right. So Jay and China just been sacked off. They got the boot from the other Islanders. And it was a very short clip, but I thought this was actually great. And I'm actually like, wow, you are honest, China. And so she's packing up with all the girls, all her suitcase, whatever. She says, gonna have to ring my ex for a quick shag.
I think that's amazing.
All right.
That is brilliant.
Someone just, is honest. And if she is, if it's not she, well, it might be she. If he or she or whoever is China's ex, please let us know if you have had a call. We'd love to know.
And I think that's the perfect way to end the show. So thank you so much for joining us. And we will be back with all the juicy gossip next week.
But we forgot the fire poll.
Oh, sugar. I'm just looking at time. Quick. Double busy.
Let's do it. Fire poll. Right. It's a big one this week. We said, is there a way back for Tasha and Andrew? And over 100 of you voted once again, so thank you very much for that. 53% of you said it's a no from me. 53%, very close. 47% said they'll be back. We shall see. Now, excuse the cough. That is it. Meg, it's been a pleasure. I need to cool down.
Yeah, me too. I'm going to leave you to it. I'm going to order some food. And before we go, huge congratulations to Matt and his lovely girlfriend who have just bought their first place. And I feel like it deserves a little shout out. Congratulations, Matt. You are officially an adult, and I am officially still the person that has no life together, but will support you in all of your moments of joy.
Thank you, my dear friend, Meshka.
Bye.
We'll see you next week. Bye.